So Disney announced today that they are pushing back the release date for the live-action Snow White remake to 2025, and they released this picture to go along with it, showing our first look at the 7 dwarfs, and yikes.
What? I've decided that starting now, I'm just gonna stop asking questions about this live action. I feel like I don't even want to know the answer. Just burn this movie, burn it down to the ground. We do not need it.
Disney has had more than enough controversies surrounding Snow White, and every time they attempt to change things, it somehow always comes out worse than before. Fans are now tired of hearing that we'll be seeing CGI dwarfs, and Disney still won't replace Rachel Zegler. Initially, Disney had a different concept in mind with the movie, since they were planning on having actors with dwarfism portray the 7 dwarfs in Snow White. However, Disney's plans for their movie took an unexpected turn when actor Peter Dinklage voiced his concerns about their initial casting decisions. Peter, who has achondroplasia, a form of dwarfism, pointed something out that started a huge online debate. It was all about how Disney attempted to balance inclusivity by casting a Latina actress, Rachel Zegler, as Snow White, while simultaneously sticking to the traditional portrayal of the 7 dwarfs. However, Peter Dinklage pointed out the double standards in Disney's vision. He said,
I was a little taken back by the they're very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White.
Yeah.
But you're still telling the story of Snow White.
Snow White, yeah.
7 dwarfs.
Sure.
Look, take a step back and look at what you're doing there. It makes no sense to me.
You're
progressive in one way, but you're still making that fucking backward
Oh,
story of 7 dwarves living in a cave. What the f are you doing, man?
Peter especially expressed his frustration with the fact that Disney was playing into the dwarf stereotype, and he publicly questioned Disney's decision-making process. He continued saying, "They were so proud of that, and all love and respect to the actress and the people who thought they were doing the right thing. But I'm just like, what are you doing?" Peter was practically begging Disney for a more progressive and enlightened storytelling when it comes to the 7 dwarfs. However, this received a lot of mixed opinions from the public. In response to the growing controversy, Disney shared a statement addressing the concerns. The studio made it clear they wish to avoid reinforcing stereotypes from the original animated film, and then assured people that they would be taking a different approach with the 7 characters. Disney even stated that they had been in talks with members of the dwarfism community and promised to reveal more details as the film moved into production. The controversy actually deepened as Disney revealed they would not be casting actors with dwarfism for the roles of the 7 dwarfs, since many members of the dwarfism community believed that the opportunity to be part of a major production was slipping away. The decision actually divided quite a lot of people, since a lot of actors with dwarfism disagreed with Peter's views, since they didn't share his experience in Hollywood, and these roles would have been crucial for them to gain exposure and further their careers. Things only got worse from there as it was revealed how the dwarfs really looked like in the movie through images that were taken on the set. The dwarfs had been transformed into magical forest creatures of various sizes, and fans of the original Snow White story felt that this change deviated significantly from the classic narrative. The new character designs and story direction raised questions about the essence of Snow White and her interactions with these transformed creatures, leaving many nostalgic fans disappointed. The movie's casting decisions and portrayal of the dwarfs as magical forest creatures ended up creating a pretty complex and heated debate, since it sparked concerns surrounding Disney's attempts at representation and diversity. As things continued to get worse, even WWE star Dylan Postal decided to speak on the issue, as he expressed his frustration and disappointment. In an exclusive interview with Newsweek, Dylan strongly criticized the studio's casting choices, which seemed to prioritize inclusivity and progressiveness, but from his perspective, did more harm than good to the representation of people with dwarfism. He said, "It's not right, because there are roles made for actors of my stature. These dwarf roles are for people of my stature, and now it's taken away. I don't feel that's right. And not only that, but now, think about the additional stunt actors, or body doubles. Now you're talking multiple actors of my stature that don't get these major roles. His disappointment ran deep as he went through a roller coaster of emotions, from shame and embarrassment to outright anger. However, it's not just the dwarfs that got Disney into major trouble, since Rachel Zegler has gotten nothing but criticism for playing Snow White, and it's especially because of Disney's efforts to make Snow White more inclusive and feminist. Rach spoke about the film's modernization and its emphasis on female empowerment. However, her comments did nothing but make people feel even worse about the movie. Rachel's casting had already gotten plenty of criticism when she was announced as Snow White in 2021. Some Disney fans were unhappy with the studio's choice to cast a Latina actress in the role, since she looks nothing like the character and would never be called Snow White. And the debate over her casting only got worse when Rachel started sharing her opinion on the original Snow White.
I saw the logo and I went, that's my name, Snow White's up there, and I cried my eyes out.
Like seeing yourself for the first time in full Snow White drag.
I love that description, it's perfect.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
However, Zegler's comments about the original Snow White also attracted attention and made a lot of people very mad, especially because she admitted to only having seen the original movie once as a child and that she wasn't even a fan of it at all.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again.
Rachel even described the love story between Snow White and the prince as creepy and labeled the prince's behavior as stalkerish.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
And her choice of words triggered many people and led to backlash online. All of these things combined made the movie pretty undesirable to a lot of people, especially as more and more details were released. Fans, already divided over the casting of Rachel Zegler, began calling for her replacement, especially since Disney suddenly to change one huge thing about the movie. Not too long ago, a photo was shared online where it was made clear that the backlash concerning the 7 dwarfs had gotten to Disney, and they actually decided to recast the dwarfs yet again. However, instead of hiring actors with dwarfism, they decided to go with CGI for the dwarf characters. A first-look photo from the set showed Rachel Zegler sitting in a chair surrounded by the 7 dwarfs, all portrayed by Martin Kleba using CGI. This decision was met with a lot of backlash online as the dwarfs looked absolutely terrible, and Disney still hadn't given the roles to actors with actual dwarfism. The use of CGI for the dwarf characters raised concerns about representation and authenticity, and many people actually demanded that the movie be canceled. With the dwarfs being changed once more, the movie was also delayed to 2025, which would mean that Disney would still have time to right their wrongs as fans became more and more skeptical about the entire movie's direction. But it's especially the debate surrounding Rachel's casting that's been awakened yet again, as fans demand that instead of making bad things worse by turning the dwarfs into CGI, they instead focus on recasting Rachel in order to save the movie from totally failing. As it's looking right now, nobody has any intention of seeing this movie if things stay as they are, which is why the smartest thing for Disney would be to take advantage of the delay to fix things. This also comes in light of Rachel already being removed from one project, which might mean all of her controversies are finally catching up to her. Reportedly, Zegler has been removed from the cast of the upcoming movie Paddington 3. The news of her departure from the film was shared by The Hollywood Hollywood handle on Twitter, where they said the movie would continue filming in the UK without Rachel, who was originally set to play the character Gina Cabot. Some people have linked this to the actors' strike, which has affected the film's production. However, there's quite a debate on whether or not this is actually true. One person defending Rachel said, "I know you haters felt a little spark of joy when you saw this, but sorry to disappoint. She was not recast, because Twitter was crying. She was recast because the actors are on strike, and this is a UK production that started filming in July. They just couldn't wait for her any longer." Despite this explanation, others disagree, maintaining that if the production team truly wanted to keep Zegler in the project, they would have found a way to accommodate her schedule and circumstances, especially because other actors on the project are under the same strike and they're being kept on the project. This is why fans are calling for Disney to open their eyes and follow in Paddington's footsteps, since they believe that the movie will never be able to live up to the expectations of both longtime fans and newcomers if things aren't fixed soon. The argument remains that if Disney could make such a huge change to the characters of the dwarfs, they could also reconsider their casting choices and even the overall direction of the movie, which is seriously putting people off at the moment. Do you guys think Disney could recast Rachel? Let me know down below, and don't forget to check out this other video.